Hi, I'm James the Light Guy, and today we're going to take a look at another LED pod light. Today's pod light is a generic light I got off eBay. It has a single unfiltered lens, large metallic heatsink, and body construction, with a long power cable with no strain relief, leading to two terminals. We have a red positive wire and a white ground wire. Before we apply power, let's take it apart and see what's inside. Removing this silver bezel, we can pull out the glass lens. It has a silicon gasket which helps isolate it against vibration and ensure a tight fit as this ring compresses it down. It also seals this single chip, protecting it from moisture. This is a 10-watt Cree chip. Let's see if I can get it in focus. We see that there is some thermal paste behind the panel and the two lead wires. Opening up the next section, I'm going to pause the video momentarily so you don't have to hear the screeching. We can pull this apart. We see those two wires and some celastic holding it in place, and the controller module just feeding through the back of the large heatsink. We're going to pull those wires all the way through to get that out of the way. And we'll cut open this heat shrinking if it's possible and see what the circuit board has. Give me just another moment. Alright, behind the heat shrinking was the small circuit panel with the controller module. Let's zoom in a little bit. We have a large capacitor, a smaller capacitor, and a bunch of small microcontrollers with a little MOSFET for switching. This light has three functions based on those two power inputs. We have one application of power, gives us full current to the LED. If the light is switched off and back on under the time it takes for this capacitor to discharge, it will then reduce the power to 1/3, and then a third pulse of the power will cause it to strobe. Let's power it up. Grab our bench power supply. As I said before, the white wire is our ground, and the red wire is power. We'll hook that up and zoom out. Alright, you see at 14.4 volts, we are drawing 0.7 amps. That is 10 watts. And you can see that this chip is fairly bright in its unculminated form. We are going to set that down, quickly disconnect and reconnect the power. You see we have dropped down to 0.2 amps, and we can start to see down into the housing. We've gone from 10 watts down to 3. And if we disconnect and reconnect a third time, you can see that we are strobing, and it is measuring at 0.37, which is about half of the full current. This meter can't bounce fast enough between full strength and 0, so it's measuring, or at least displaying, half current. We are going full brightness half the time. Let's turn that off. What I'm going to do is put the lens back on and screw it down. And we can take a quick look at the focus of that lens. You can see that the lens brings it down to a fine, bright point, but compared to the other lights that we have looked at in recent videos, this pod light does not do a great job illuminating the area at all. Without having any metallic shroud for culminating behind the lens, we lose a lot of the residual light against this black interior. This would be fun for putting on a bicycle. It has a low power draw, so running off a small battery pack or a small generator would likely be adequate, but anything larger than a motorcycle, a bicycle, this wouldn't have any real function for. In any case, that's all I have for today's video. If you found any of the information useful or enjoyed it, hit that like button for me, consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, I'm James the Light Guy.